Thank you, Faye. Good evening, everybody. You know, the last time I commentated on a Manchester City match was a 5:30 kickoff on game day on December the 4th. 7 weeks ago to the day, City won at Watford to become the third different team to sit on top of the Premier League table in the space of 7 hours that day. Chelsea started the Saturday afternoon as league leaders. Liverpool overtook them in a 3 o'clock game before Manchester City went on with a typically comfortable, controlled victory at Watford. And just 2 points separated the top 3 at bedtime on December the 4th. All on equal games, 15 games. The tantalising title race was taking shape. Well, that 2-point gap could be 15 points by bedtime tonight. What have City done to our title race? It's starting to look like one of those F1 Grand Prix of 2-3 years ago when Lewis Hamilton was out on his own with 15 laps to go, and the camera started to turn to the race for second and third, because City don't look like breaking down, do they? Now imagine you're Pep Guardiola. This is a game you can all play at home. The title race is not won. You saw enough from Trent Alexander-Arnold and Diogo Jota and co on Thursday to know that. You've got 8 points minimum clear. You've drawn championship opponents in the next round of the Cup. And you're 3.5 weeks away from resuming a Champions League campaign. Now, David Connolly, do you ignore that date with Sporting of Lisbon for now, or do you start to plan for it? Do you start to rest and rotate, start to prioritise now?
Well, I think, Clive, that he certainly, look, he does that all season long, and even the team selection today, I think leaving John Stones out, he's brought in Diaz-1, I think, because he's a bit more physical, I think more powerful, especially on the set pieces, as we all know with James Ward-Prowse, but also to deal with Broja and Adams. They are a powerful front two. They're going to be a handful. So I think, look, he's always thinking games ahead. Nonetheless, the rest of the team have been brilliant. They were superb against Chelsea. Love what they did with Bernardo Silva and Rodri, just dragging out Kante and Kovacic. And for Southampton, you know, their shape and being the best pressing team is going to be really put under question here today, because they're going to have to be absolutely at their best.
Well, the winter break is almost upon us. The last we'll see of these two for a fortnight. And the rest of the Premier League, well, they're looking at Manchester City's taillights and no sign of any brake lights. Foot down to the boards as the players go down on a knee in support of higher priorities in our world. The business of the evening can begin with the defending champions looking to go 14 points clear of their pursuers in an all-black kit, playing from right to left, as David and I look on here at Mary's. Southampton in their traditional red, black and white. The ball is in possession of the Manchester City goalkeeper Ederson, and now Aymeric Laporte. Southampton have a pretty good home record. They're in pretty good form. A little unlucky to lose at Wolverhampton last Saturday, last time out, but whether pretty good will be good enough against these exceedingly good champions is another matter altogether. Foden and Grealish combining as City come forward for the first time, and Grealish goes to ground for the first time, bundled over by Oriol Romeu. Free kick to Manchester City, 15 paces outside the Southampton penalty area.
Yeah, and already Pep Guardiola pretty animated. He wanted Cancelo just to play a little bit higher. As it is, he spanned the ball round the corner with his right foot. That's what he did for De Bruyne's goal. Playing left back, but a right footer, always looking to pass on the inside, and Grealish playing down through the middle as a 9, as we saw at Watford.
That's certainly where he started. Right and left foot option for this Manchester City free kick, Foden or De Bruyne. It's taken by Foden into the penalty area. It's headed kind of out of harm's way by Stuart Armstrong, headed behind for another Manchester City set piece, this time a corner from their left hand side. Again, Foden and De Bruyne are the options. It's taken short to Phil Foden. Now De Bruyne just outside the penalty area, laid back to Cancelo with a shooting opportunity, quickly closed down by Ward-Prowse, crossed in by De Bruyne, headed away by Salisu, retrieved though by Rodri. Walker is on the ball for City, edge of the centre circle, just inside the Southampton half. Cancelo goes diagonally out to the right-hand side, and Raheem Sterling, he controls the ball under pressure from Perrault, who pushes him to the ground, and another cheap free kick conceded by Southampton. Sterling takes it short to Walker, midway through the Southampton half of the field. Manchester City quickly switch the play from right to left, and now Foden with his heels on the opposite touchline, left-hand side, plays it back to Cancelo, who took a bit of a chance with Adams, managed actually to knock the ball between the legs of the Southampton striker and retain possession, and now it goes further back and more safely into the path of Aymeric Laporte. So just to confirm what David Connolly said from the outset, the Manchester City front three is Sterling from the right, Foden from the left, and Jack Grealish is the so-called false number 9.
Well, if you remember at Vicarage Road, I mean, the amount of coaching Pep Guardiola gave him during that game in terms of wanting him to drop off, link the play as he's doing here. He was almost too high in that game on the last man, but, you know, he sort of looks like he's improved playing in that role, just dropping off the front a little bit.
He has played in only 2 of the previous 6 games. He had a spell out injured in November, Grealish. He has been tried in this position 2 or 3 games in the last month or so. De Bruyne losing out to Redmond momentarily, but you feel that he's still finding his place in the Manchester City setup, and maybe still finding his place with his A-list celebrity status, although that comes a little bit more naturally perhaps to Jack Grealish.
Well, one thing Saints have got to do, they've done it a couple of times already, you know, without the ball for a little spell, they've turned the ball over and then lost it immediately. Redmond that time, and that's where they've got to be a threat on the counter-attack, otherwise they're just not going to have the ball for a long time. Here we go again.
Laporte has given it away this time, picked off by Ward-Prowse, down goes Adams and wins a free kick midway through the Manchester City half of the field. We've had 4 minutes of the third of our 3 Premier League commentaries on game day on Talk Sport, and it's Southampton 0, Manchester City 0, but the first opportunity for Southampton to do something about that scoreline.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, it's a free kick, and that 20 yards over the halfway line, probably to the right-hand side, too far for Ward-Prowse to shoot from. I mean, he scored from a similar sort of distance against Wolves.
That's a matter of opinion.
Yeah, but it was central. But this one, Bednarek's gone up, the 2 centre-halves have gone up, and this is where Guardiola knows that the Saints are going to be a real threat on these set pieces.
That Ward-Prowse free kick last Saturday was officially 34 yards out. This is about 44. Ward-Prowse curls it in, edge of the penalty area, finds the head of Salisu, but he guides his header wide of Ederson's right-hand post. And Manchester City will have a goal kick. Southampton are, as Faye said, one of the 3 teams who've managed to stop them scoring in a Premier League game this season. That 0-0 draw at the Etihad in September could actually have been a bit better for them. James Ward-Prowse had the ball on the penalty spot, and Kyle Walker was trudging off with an hour played before a VAR monitor review called him back and cancelled the penalty.
That was disgraceful as well. That was a clear penalty, and I mean, John Moss that day, I mean, I think Saints rightly should feel aggrieved about that.
Yeah, I think the red card was a mistake by the referee, but why the penalty wasn't given is a John Grisham mystery story. And Manchester City, even more mysteriously, didn't manage a shot on target until the 90th minute of that game. But that was then, this is now. And Manchester City are on this run of 12 consecutive Premier League wins, and they've scored 34 goals in the process of those wins. Plenty of shots on target. None as yet in this game, but they're coming forward with Cancelo, and now Grealish just outside the Southampton box finds Foden. A little bit of space here for Sterling. On the overlap was Walker, and he should have played him in, but Stuart Armstrong was back there to intercept. But Manchester City had an overload on the right-hand side, and Raheem Sterling didn't make the most of that.
No, absolutely. I mean, that was brilliant football from City down this left-hand side. Worked it so well over to Raheem Sterling, and Kyle Walker on the overlap. It's just a really poor pass under here.
0-0 is the scoreline. We've had just over 6 minutes play. Southampton coming forward with the returning Kyle Walker-Peters into the path of Nathan Redmond with a crossing chance. Back to Walker-Peters, inside the box, inside the net. Southampton have taken the lead. It's Kyle Walker-Peters with the early goal. Who would have predicted that? His only goal this season. Kyle Walker-Peters was in a League Cup tie. That is his first ever Premier League goal, and he scored it against the Premier League champions.
Well, it's a fabulous finish. I mean, Romeo switches the play out to the right-hand side to Walker-Peters. Redmond makes a fantastic run in behind Cancelo. These are these sort of number 10s they play with. Cuts it back to Walker-Peters. He controls it with his left peg. It pops up, and then he lashes it across Edison with his right foot. Fantastic finish from the fullback.
It is only the second time that Manchester City have even been behind since their last league defeat at the end of October. They trailed Arsenal for 26 minutes either side of half-time on New Year's Day. They've won 11 of their 12 consecutive victories from the front. But Southampton have given them an early shock here. Sterling coming forward for a Manchester City team that trail here. Only the third goal they've conceded in the first half of a Premier League game this season. They usually make great starts. This evening they have not. Southampton have made a wonderful start.
Well, it's just a really good move, and that's where this shape that I know is much talked about, this narrow 4-2-2-2, it means Redmond's not a wide man, so when Walker-Peters picks it up, his winger's inside him, ready to make that darting run in behind, sort of into the inside spaces, and he picked him out beautifully, and the return ball to him was fabulous. Good touch, and then the finish was just fantastic to lash across Edison.
Southampton 1, Manchester City 0, but Southampton have already dropped 18 points from winning positions this season. It's been a frail feature of their time under Ralph Hasenhüttl. Too many lost leads, and they haven't kept a clean sheet in their last 10 Premier League matches. Manchester City attacking the Southampton penalty area with Sterling. His cross though is easily fielded by Fraser Forster, and he can start to take a little bit of the time out of the game, because even with 9 minutes played, Southampton can start to think about the watch.
Yeah, what you would say there, Raheem Sterling, a couple of times he's had the ball now, the little overlap pass to Cole Walker, which was under hit, was cut out, not great. That ball in the box, not great. What you would say, if Jack Grealish, he is playing that number 9, somebody has got to get across the goalkeeper there in the 6-yard box. Nobody did.
The third senior goal of Kyle Walker-Peters' career. He scored against Rochdale, Newport County and Manchester City. We're in possession with Rodri, a header forward towards Sterling. Rodri in the heart of the Southampton half of the field. Bernardo Silva takes over. Walker on the overlap. Good defending though out on that side by Romain Perrault. Hasn't dispossessed Manchester City though, just held up their latest attack. Walker-Peters, who is playing for the first time in nearly a month. He's had a bout of COVID. He's been a regular left back for much of this season, and of course he was Kyle Walker's understudy at Tottenham for quite a time. Confuse the commentator, Walker or Walker-Peters. Well, the goal scorer tonight is Kyle Walker-Peters. Well, there's a late challenge on Grealish, and the referee has pulled play back for a free kick to Manchester City, 10 paces inside the Southampton half, and a talking to for Nathan Redmond.
One thing he can do, I think, while Livramento is out, is try and cement a place in this starting team for Southampton, because, you know, Livramento is a brilliant player. Fantastic signing, I think, probably the best of the season. And I think while he's out and he's nearly back fit, this is a chance for Walker-Peters to stake a claim to stay in the team.
On the ball is Laporte, out to the left-hand touchline, and Cancelo tried to play it into Grealish on the edge of the penalty area. It was cleared though by Bednarek. It's found his way up to Shea Adams on the halfway line. Comes back to the goal scorer, Kyle Walker-Peters, and Bednarek all the way back to Fraser Forster, who's started the last 6 games now since Boxing Day. Alex McCarthy is currently out injured. Bednarek forward down that right-hand side for Southampton. Laporte out-muscles Brochure and wins the ball back, and forward comes Kyle Walker down the Manchester City right, pacily up to the edge of the penalty area. Played back to Sterling, operating from that Manchester City right again. Rodri plays it infield to Diaz, and now square to Laporte, but midway through the Southampton half, Foden takes over. Now Cancelo on the Manchester City left. Foden making inroads, thrusting run into the edge of the penalty area before laying it off to Rodri. Floated out to Walker. And just outside the Southampton penalty area, Manchester City right. 1-0 Southampton lead. Grealish is on the ball. Into Bernardo Silva just outside the box. Now Kevin De Bruyne.
Look how narrow they are, Southampton here.
Walker with the cross here. I mean, 4-2-2-2-2, whatever you call it. It's 4-4-2 with two narrow wide men.
I mean, the ball's on the right-hand side. All Saints 11 players are by the penalty spot. There's no one the other side of the penalty spot. That's how narrow they are. So if, City can switch the play. Crystal Palace played exactly like this against City. Played really narrow, played in 2/3 of the pitch, really, and left the opposite side free and go on then. That's when you can attack us. And it's up to City to do that. We're very strong through the middle. That's exactly what Southampton are doing.
David Conley, who had 3 seasons here as a player and still has some contacts on the quiet, and he was having a sneaky word with one of them before the game, and you were told that Southampton have done a lot of work without the ball this week.
Absolutely, yeah. And you can see that. I mean, that's why Armstrong's in here as well.
Bernardo Silva coming forward for Manchester City. Sterling on the right-hand side. Played in towards the dead ball line for Bernardo Silva, but it's a pass which caught Bernardo Silva unawares and he couldn't quite keep it in, and a goal kick for Southampton, who lead with a goal after just 7 minutes from Kyle Walker-Peters, smashed in with his right foot. Both teams have had a similar workload in recent weeks. There are some clubs that must feel as though they've already had their winter break. Southampton have had 2 spells of 10 days without a match. City no more than a week. It is the 4th game of the calendar year for both. It's January 22nd today, so that's quite a manageable schedule, but it is going to get busier in the coming weeks and months of the season. Make no mistake about that. Adams in possession for Southampton, just inside the City half. Releases Brocha, now attacking the edge of the penalty area, right hand side. Chip ball towards the far side, headed away by Walker, only as far as Redmond. Brocha keeping the Southampton attack alive, just outside the penalty area on the right hand side. Has to come all the way back to Bednarek, now square to Salisu inside the centre circle. Ward-Prowse offers to take over. Southampton, having threatened the edge of the City penalty area, happy just to have the ball in the end. They have to go all the way back to Fraser Forster, but there's a little bit of pace and thrust about this attack that Ralph Hasenhüttl has chosen this evening. It's interesting, it is only the 3rd time Shea Adams and Armando Brocha have started a match together.
Yeah, I mean, there was a nice little bit of link-up play. Looking at the 2 Saints centre-halves when they get the ball, I think their 2 full-backs are too high. They're playing almost in line with Cancelo, and there's nothing on for the likes of Bednarek and Salisu. They need those full-backs, one of them just to drop out, create a little bit of space and get on the ball. There's not too many options, and as well, when Fraser Forster's playing out at the back, he's giving it to the 2 centre-halves inside the 6-yard box. It's kind of brave, bordering on a little bit stupid. I think when you've got that front 2, get it up to Brocha, maybe play a little bit in their half.
Southampton 1, Manchester City 0 on TalkSport with Now. With a Now Sports Day membership, you can stream all the Sky Sports action, including this game, live right now for $9.99 without a contract. Search Now Sports. Kyle Walker-Peters, the scorer of the opening goal of the evening. Bernardo Silva on the ball back to Kyle Walker on the halfway line. Grealish comes very deep looking for the ball on this occasion. Just lent to Grealish, who plays it back to Walker again, looking for progress down the right hand side. He's asked a lot of Sterling, but it's a good ball, and Sterling has got in behind the defence and found a cross. Foden is waiting, but so too is the giant figure of Fraser Forster, who grabs the ball comfortably. There was only one Manchester City player inside the penalty area when the cross came in.
Yeah, and exactly, that's the whole point. One player in there for Raheem Sterling, and he still got under the ball and hung it up. I mean, that is the sort of cross that is food and drink for the likes of Fraser Forster. Wrong sort of selection there. That's 2 crosses now from Sterling.
The ball is back with Ederson, the Manchester City goalkeeper. He's actually kept clean sheets in half the Premier League games he's played, which is a unique record. But he's been beaten this evening, and Southampton are in the lead. Sterling is on the ball though for Manchester City. Short to Bernardo Silva. Sterling again, infield this time to Rodri. He invites Aymeric Laporte to come forward. De Bruyne, 50 metres outside the penalty area. Lovely ball. Cancelo's got in behind Southampton, tried to cut it back. It was a lovely run by Cancelo, but a poor cross and an easy catch for Fraser Forster.
Yeah, it was another one straight into the arms of Forster, but nice little link-up play from De Bruyne. Cancelo running off the back of Redmond, just lost him for a minute. Can't afford to do that. I mean, it was Kyle Walker-Peters and Redmond both got attracted to the ball.
Only Wolves have beaten Southampton at St Mary's so far this season. One defeat in 10 home games in the Premier League, but 6 of those matches have been drawn. They're the margins at this level, and Saints have held a lead in 5 of those 6 draws. They led Spurs here, they led Manchester United here, they led Brighton here until the 98th minute. Losing leads is a difficult habit to kick, and they will have in the back of their minds those statistics as they look forward into this South Coast night with a 1-goal lead over the team that have seemed unbeatable in the last couple of months, Manchester City. On the ball is Kyle Walker for Manchester City, 10 metres inside his own half. Goes back to Ruben Dias and all the way back to Edison. And I just get the impression that Manchester City are having a good look at this Southampton setup and trying to work out ways of getting round and through it.
Yeah, I mean, they've just pushed Bernardo Silva. If you look at how he played against Chelsea, he was a lot deeper, almost at times in line with Rodri, but here he's playing as an 8, up alongside De Bruyne, him and De Bruyne as attacking 8s.
Lovely turn and surge from Grealish, now up to the edge of the penalty area. His pass wasn't as good as the thrusting run, short for Foden, and it was cleared by Walker-Peters, but Manchester City have a throw in. De Bruyne on the ball, all the way back to Ruben Dias. Now Kyle Walker, 15 metres inside the Southampton half, out to Sterling on the right-hand side. Rodri offers himself for the ball again. 10 red shirts behind the ball as Walker looks up 15 metres inside the Southampton half, and the towering figure of Fraser Forster behind that Southampton cover. Laporte forward to Foden. Manchester City absolutely monopolising possession, but that's not the important statistic. Southampton 1, Manchester City 0 is the important statistic. Walker has the ball just inside his own half of the field, a diagonal towards Foden, well seen by Walker-Peters, but his header is poor, straight to De Bruyne. Foden to De Bruyne again, 15 metres outside the penalty area, lofted in towards Bernardo Silva on a late run, but unusually way overhit by Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah, I mean, you can see what they're trying to do, Saints. Whenever the likes of Rodri gets on the ball, he's the one, if you recall, I think it was the West Ham game, he's got that brilliant diagonal to open the pitch up, but as soon as he looks to get on it deeper as that little quarterback to switch the play, the likes of Shea Adams is really on him quickly, same with Brozier, and they're not really able to get the ball out wide early enough, City, so Saints are pretty comfortable at the minute.
Fraser Forster preparing to take the goal kick. This 6-game run is his best since he was the Celtic title goalkeeper a couple of seasons back. 33 now, not being the established first choice here for 5 years.
Well, that's the first time now Fraser Forster has gone long, and look where they are now. At least they've got over the halfway line, Southampton. I don't know why every goal kick previous to this they tried to play out inside their own 6-yard box. It seems crazy. Get it up to the front too. Brozier there, he's such a handful, strong, physical, he's got good technique. You know, talking to some of the staff, they say he is brilliant. Maybe not the best in training, he's one of those, not being a player in training, but when it comes to the games, he comes alive and he's quick, technical. You know, I mean, they're trying to buy him and he looks like he's going to be a top player.
The short goalkeeper passes are part of the project. You've got to have a project in 21st century football. Forster's on the ball again, and he does play it short out toward Prowse. It didn't really look as if he wanted it. Played it back to Salisu, now out to Perro, and Southampton are trying to play their way up the field, and the best they can manage is a deflection off the shins of Kyle Walker and a throw-in midway inside their own half, which Romain Perro will take. He started the last 5 matches now indirectly because of the knee injury that Tino Livramento suffered. That sort of opened the door and Walker-Peters switched flanks. Here is Perro again, volleyed up towards the halfway line, headed forward though by Ruben Dias, headed away by Salisu. On the ball and surging forward for Southampton is Stuart Armstrong, recalled to the team today, but he's unable to make any headway. There is a foul by Brozier, and Manchester City have a free kick on the halfway line. It is Southampton 1, Manchester City 0 on TalkSport with We Buy Any Car. Sell your car in under an hour, leaving you more time to enjoy the football. Foden has the ball for Manchester City, left-hand side, 15 metres outside the penalty area. Joao Cancelo swings it into the box. Bernardo Silva had made a run, but Salisu made a clearance, and Southampton can come forward with Oriol Romeo. Invites Perro to burst up towards the halfway line. Square again to Romeo, now ventures into City's half, and Brozier has controlled it and got behind Walker, and it's Armando Brozier, and it's Southampton 2, Manchester City 0. No, it is not. Flag has been raised. Brozier's goal certainly will not count for now. It looked pretty tight, but the linesman was confident.
Well, this is a brilliant ball from Romeo. We were just praising Brozier. I think he might just be marginally offside. What a take, though, in the air, and then he drives into the box away from Walker, finishes it superbly onto his left foot. Fantastic move, pass from Romeo, outstanding, but it looks just off.
And it remains Southampton 1, Manchester City 0. And Brozier, who has been in the goals just recently, is denied by the linesman flag, and correctly so. Southampton 1, Manchester City 0. The latest odds are available from Betfair, the official betting partner of TalkSport's Premier League coverage, currently offering Southampton to win the game at 7-2. They are 1-0 up. The draw is 14-5, or you can back Manchester City. They're the team that's losing at 11-10 on. That odds update from Betfair. We will get no cash-out suspensions on match odds and over-under goal markets on football. You must be 18, and do pay a visit to begambleaware.org for advice and guidance on how best to enjoy your betting. David Connolly is alongside me.
Well, I know that obviously they want to sign Brozier. It's just the figures, I believe, are a stumbling block. You know, how much do you pay for someone like that? A little bit of potential. You're not quite sure exactly what you're going to get, but there's certainly a player in there. I believe it's something like 30 million. I think they're offering half that. You know, he's got liveramento here. He's made a couple of mates. You know, he enjoys it down here. I think if they could get him on the permanent, I think that'd be a great signing for them.
Southampton are on new ownership, on wealthy ownership, and they are talking to Chelsea about Armando Brozier, who's been a regular since the start of last month. He's not 21 until September, so there's plenty of potential in a possible investment, but it's still a lot of money for what has traditionally been a selling club in the Premier League years. But they lead Manchester City by 1-0 here with the best part of 25 minutes played at St Mary's. Bednarek is on the ball on the edge of his own penalty area and goes back to Fraser Forster. And he will chip it a little longer down the field this time. Perro has a little bit of space on the Southampton left. That space quickly denied by Raheem Sterling. Perro trying to make progress was being held back by Sterling and has won a free kick 15 paces inside his own half of the field. He's been a substitute for most of his first season here. Came in the summer from the French club Brest. He has been linked just recently with a move to Newcastle United, but who hasn't?
Well, he's quick, he's dogged, he's determined. I mean, Fraser Forster played an awful ball out to him, bounced right in front of him. I don't know what he can do with that, and that's the criticism of Fraser Forster, I think. Great, super shot stopper with his feet every time. Even here, the crowd have a little bit of angst when he's on it.
Armstrong bursting forward for Southampton, halted by Foden, but it was a move of some promise until Phil Foden broke it up. Southampton have won the ball back. Walker-Peters goes all the way back to Forster, who has the ball at his feet again. This time he has time to pick a pass, and it's out to Salisu, who's confident enough to turn inside Bernardo Silva, play it forward. But a very muscular challenge by Walker wins it back for Manchester City, but then Foden is caught in possession by Bednarek. Redmond on the ball now, midway inside his own half. Chip forward down the left-hand side for Shea Adams to chase, but he won't catch that. It will be a throw-in to Manchester City inside their own half of the field. I think one of the issues you have when you're a team that is playing without the ball, as Southampton are for the most part, is when you do get it, you get a bit anxious.
Yeah, absolutely, and that is exactly what Ralph Hasenhüttl has just indicated there with his hands.
Forward comes Grealish, edge of the Southampton penalty area, accelerating away from Salisu, pulls it back, and it's knocked behind by the foot of Fraser Forster for a Manchester City corner. Good pace in possession there from Jack Grealish. He was racing Mohamed Salisu, and he was getting the better of him. Corner's quickly taken. Short, Foden, edge of the box. That's charged down by Ward-Prowse. Down by the corner flag, it's Kevin De Bruyne. Play back now to Cancelo. Invited to shoot from range, and hit with plenty of weight by Cancelo, but far too much height, and it's a goal kick to Southampton.
Yeah, I've never seen them take so many short corners, City, and it's always to try and get Cancelo a free shot on the edge of the box, on the angle. He had one earlier block, this one blazed over the bar. But you can see Ralph, I was saying, he was indicating with his hands, if to say to Nathan Redmond, just settle down, we've turned the ball over, just try and keep it short and get up the pitch. Instead he tried to play a really long, ambitious ball over that high City back line, and instead it's gone out of play and City have it again.
Just over 27 minutes played at St Mary's. A goal after 7 minutes by Kyle Walker-Peters means that it's Southampton 1, Manchester City 0. Goal kick forward is headed down by Aymeric Laporte, but Southampton win it back, and now Adams can go forward. He's controlled the ball well, and he has options here. He's played into the box. Brochure's there, tries to go around Edison, down he goes. Flags up. I think it might have been a penalty, but for the fact that Armando Brochure was offside again.
Well, I think he is. I think he's just again on the last man, but they go long from the goal kick. They manage to secure it. Nice little link-up play. He is offside, but nonetheless, those two promising, considering they've only started a handful of games together. Adams and Brochure looking to link. Just knocks it around Edison, and I'm not too sure it would have been a pen. I don't know.
Oh, I think it would. I think Edison came flying out and got hands on the shin of Brochure, but nonetheless, it was already flagged. City coming forward with Sterling, low into the box, turned away by Salisu. As far as Walker, now De Bruyne takes over 10 paces outside the box, tried to jab it in towards Foden. It took a deflection. It will go for a corner kick to Manchester City. He's a unique goalkeeper, Edison. He does tread that line between decisive and impulsive. He survived a penalty shout at Arsenal, you may remember. Martin Odegaard won at Newcastle when he seemed to clean Ryan Fraser out and nothing was given. At that time it was of no consequence. Cross this time by Cancelo is of no consequence either. It bounces through for a goal kick, and Manchester City are looking a bit frustrated.
Yeah, they are. I mean, that is the third or fourth corner in a row they've worked at Cancelo on the edge of the left-hand side of the box, and he's looked to loft it in towards the back post. Nobody trying to get on the end of it. And yeah, certainly after that really bright start, Laporte passed one straight off the pitch, and a bit of frustration there as well from Pep.
Little flick from the outside of the foot by Stuart Armstrong. Southampton are growing into the game, which is a strange thing to say when they're leading in the game, but they're just starting to show a little bit more poise and a little bit more confidence when they do have the ball. Trying one or two things when they get into the Manchester City half, and okay, Brochure has had the ball in the net but offside. Brochure has gone down under the weight of the goalkeeper but offside, but they are just little signs that they are making inroads on the occasions when they have the ball, and they have it now with James Ward-Prowse accelerating through the Manchester City half, finding Nathan Redmond to his right, 50 metres outside the penalty area, back to Walker-Peters, wide again to Redmond. The move has lost a little bit of its momentum now, and they have to come back to Bednarek, who goes square to Salisu just inside his own half of the field. Salisu venturing forward under pressure from Bernardo Silva, slips the ball down the left-hand side. Perraud now can attack Walker, down by the corner flag, left-hand side, Romain Perraud turns back inside, tries to link up again with Armstrong, but the pass is wayward and seized upon by De Bruyne, and Manchester City have a counter-attack. Sterling on the ball, halfway line, three of his colleagues ahead of him, but he hesitated, caught in several minds, lost possession, and Southampton managed to get a foot in and force Manchester City back.
Absolutely, caught in different minds because of the really good response from Saints when they lost the ball, got back behind it, worked really hard, just forced that turnover.
31 minutes gone at St Mary's. Southampton 1, Manchester City 0. Live on Talk Sport with Clive Tilsley and David Connolly. Forward by Bernardo Silva to De Bruyne. Down goes Grealish under the weight of a pretty heavyweight challenge from Jan Bednarek. Grealish is very, very unhappy about it and wants to take further issue with Bednarek. The referee's just giving himself some thinking time before deciding whether to show a card or not.
I think it was after the challenge. Romeo went up to Grealish on the deck, and I think he tried to pull him up as if to say, come on, there's nothing wrong with you, and that's what Grealish took exception to.
I haven't mentioned the on-field official in charge tonight. It's Simon Hooper. Darren England is the voice in his ear up the M3 at Stockley Park. Hooper, the referee, who has shown neither a red card nor awarded a penalty in the Premier League this season, but he's now going to show a yellow card to Jan Bednarek for that lusty challenge on Jack Grealish, the free kick to Manchester City 20 yards inside the Southampton half.
Yeah, well, it certainly was a yellow, that's for sure. He just caught Grealish as the ball was gone.
Free kick, which Rodri stands over. Taken short to Joao Cancelo. Rodri again. It's just a question of keeping possession for Manchester City there. There was no set-piece strategy behind the free kick. They're on the ball with Walker. Goes back to Ruben Dias, recalled in preference to John Stones, the one change from the Manchester City lineup that beat Chelsea a week ago with that fabulous De Bruyne goal. Back again to Dias. Now Walker just inside his own territory. Squirts the ball out to the Manchester City left, well controlled by Joao Cancelo. Forward to Foden, just outside the penalty area, attacking Southampton. Salisu makes a clearance. Grealish retrieves it, leaves it for Cancelo. Grealish back on the ball, as you can hear. Foden out to De Bruyne. Now Cancelo again, thought about a cross and tried a square ball. He was lucky to get away with it. Adams almost picked it off. Got it back. Walker back out to Sterling, edge of the penalty area. Bernardo Silva trying to break in behind Southampton. That familiar Manchester City ball played down the side for a player breaking into the dead ball line. And now another for Kyle Walker, but Salisu has defended it well, but defended it at the expense of a corner kick to Manchester City on their right-hand side.
Yeah, it's unlucky. I think they're probably going to take this quick. They are, yeah.
Bernardo Silva short to Foden. Back to Sterling, edge of the penalty area. Bernardo Silva now crosses in. Headed away, though, by Jan Bednarek. Only as far as Kyle Walker. Square to Kevin De Bruyne. Out to the right-hand side. Bernardo Silva to Sterling, edge of the box. Lovely turn by Sterling. Goes for goal himself. Tries to curl it with his left foot. Couldn't quite get enough action on the ball, and it drifted wide and high of Fraser Forster's right-hand post and behind for a goal kick to Southampton. 1-0 they lead.
Yeah, and I think his output, Raheem, has probably been a little bit disappointing there. Doesn't work the goalkeeper. He just ran off Shea Adams, ducked inside him. I mean, the two fullbacks I think have done really well, but the best player for me in that back line has been Salisu. He's been absolutely superb. Obviously, he's blocked a lot of crosses that have come in, been in the right place, but his track runs as well. His awareness has been superb in and around the box, and he's just got his hands on his sort of hips at the minute, just having a little breather, because he has had to work very hard, but he's played very well so far.
Yeah, Southampton have had a lot of defending to do. Manchester City are a tough examination for any centre-back, but he's become a regular this season. Mohamed Salisu, only 22 years of age, a Ghanaian who's resisted the overtures of his national team. That's why he's here and not in Cameroon at this moment in time. Well, actually, Ghana made an early exit from the African Cup of Nations. On the ball is Broja, halfway line, held up well by Diaz. And that was a pretty physical combat.
That is why I think Diaz is in the team. Yeah, because Stones was brought in against Chelsea, and look, he did well initially, and I think Lukaku got away from him once, but you know, Broja is a big boy, big powerful boy, and you see why Diaz is in. He just out-muscled him there and came away with the ball. Yeah, that was John Stones' first appearance for 4 weeks last weekend. Yeah. It was something of a surprise call by Pep Guardiola. He's got Diaz and Laporte back together this evening. It's controlled by Foden. Not quite the same penetration or edge about Manchester City we're used to seeing, and Southampton can break again, and Armstrong almost got away down the centre. Cover comes from Laporte. Long and rather hasty and anxious clearance by Edison, all the way back to his opposite number, Fraser Forster. And Manchester City are not having things all their own way. No, as we said, as we were talking about at the start, you know, formidable opponent, worked an awful lot. What they do without the ball this week, I was told, as you'd expect, you know, had a nice little build-up leading into this game, but they've posed a threat as well, especially with that front two.
Pep Guardiola in a long manager's coat with a harder black coat, standing arms folded on the edge of the technical area. It's Ralph Hasenhüttl who's a little more animated at the moment. No waistcoat tonight, just the black puffer jacket with the black baseball cap, and he is pacing restlessly, Guardiola-like, up and down his technical area, and wondering if his team can defend the lead given to them by Kyle Walker-Peters after 7 minutes. Manchester City have a free kick halfway line, played by Rodri into the path of Laporte. Manchester City trying to be patient. Out to Foden on the left-hand side, slipped into Grealish. He's got inside the box. Salisu is with him. Managed to fend him off. Played back now to Foden. Shot across the face of goal. Awkward, and it's Nathan Redmond who's back there to beat Raheem Sterling to it and fire the ball down the field for Brozier to chase. It goes all the way to Edison, but Southampton were undone there by that combination of Grealish and Foden on the left-hand side.
Again, though, Salisu got across, didn't he, and closed the door on Grealish. It looked like he got away from him the wrong side, but he got back.
He's got some defending to do again now against Phil Foden. Edge of the penalty area, slipped in low, big chance for Sterling. Fabulous save by Forster. Raheem Sterling really should have scored, but the giant frame of Fraser Forster got in the way. Clear chance, 8 yards out, only the goalkeeper to beat. Sterling went with the side of the foot, and Forster made himself even bigger than he is and kept it out. Foden to Cancelo. The attack is still alive for Manchester City. Play back to Aymeric Laporte. Still Manchester City on the attack. Foden again. Lobbed into the penalty area towards Cancelo, and there is Fraser Forster again. David Connolly, great save or bad miss?
I think he's got to score. It's hard to see from here, but to me he's got to go back across goal where the ball came from, and I think he tries to beat him sort of middle of goal, really. Doesn't get the connection right, Sterling, and at the goal at his mercy. Simple side foot finish, 6 yards out. It's not really low along the deck, it's that sort of knee height. It's just a comfortable save.
Aymeric Laporte has gone down holding his face after a clash with Shea Adams, who maybe had a swinging arm. He didn't look too malicious, but easy for me to say. I'm not holding my nose like Laporte is at the moment, and he's got up now and he's not very pleased about it, and we're just seeing it again. Is that natural movement from Adams, or did he know what he was doing?
No, I think that's all right. Just looking after himself. But I mean, look, maybe the big imposing figure of Forster just put Sterling off. I don't know. We got across the goal really well, Forster, you have to say.
Sterling shuffling forward again down the Manchester City right-hand side. Southampton 1, Manchester City 0. Sterling on the ball, played back to Kyle Walker. Rather scuffed cross, comes to De Bruyne, hit first time, and even he scuffed it. Right-footed, tried to hit it on the half volley, and nothing came of it. And Southampton see off the latest Manchester City assault. Do you know there's another one coming? And here is De Bruyne, out to Cancelo, just outside the penalty area. Shuffling inside onto his right foot, but he runs into traffic in the shape of Armstrong, and Adams finds a way out. There's one for Brozier to chase with Laporte, who manages to resist the very athletic presence of Armando Brozier and guide it back to his goalkeeper Edison. But Southampton have a threat on the counter.
Yeah, they do, and I think that's why Armstrong's in as well, just in case they go to a 3. Romeo drops in between the centre halves. Look, as he is now, you know, they've got Armstrong to then just drop a little bit deeper, but he can also make those attacking runs. He was on there, that was the pass to him.
Bernardo Silva has the ball for Manchester City. Now Cancelo, crossing position, left-hand side. Turned away by Romeo. It almost came for De Bruyne, but again, not a fine challenge by Nathan Redmond inside his own penalty area. Made it difficult for Kevin De Bruyne, but Southampton have given it away, and here's Foden, and now Sterling, and this time it's Salisu who's in. And Southampton have gone to 5 in the back, maybe just to see themselves through the last 5 minutes of this first half. Romeo's dropped in between the centre-backs. It's Walker, crossing position, right-hand side. Low cross, found away to the edge of the 6-yard box, where it was cleared again by Mohamed Salisu. And Manchester City have a pause in their attacking attempts, because Southampton have a throw-in midway side their own half on the left-hand side. One glaring miss by Raheem Sterling, but that's the only really clear-cut chance Manchester City have had, David Connolly.
It is, that's right. I mean, it's a big call as well from Ralph to, not to select Diallo, but if they do go to this back two with Romeo dropping in, Armstrong, I think, is the right call to play in there. And that's where he's stationed now, Romeo, just to see this half out.
Lianco and Diallo are dropped down to the bench this evening. Nathan Teller, incidentally, is not available. He has a slight groin strain, so he's gone out of the team altogether. Sterling attacking on the right-hand side, just outside the penalty area. Played back to Kyle Walker, fired in low, almost came for Grealish, ricocheting about there. Rodri ties a volley, and that's mishit. Scuffed that one too. Don't usually use the word scuffed 3 times in as many minutes in a Manchester City performance.
I was just going to say, I can't see any ball boys, and Bernardo Silva has sprinted about 50 yards. I'm sure Ralph has said, look, we're not going to have ball boys today, and, you know, especially, well, now they're up. I don't think there'll be any rush to get the ball back.
I've seen bigger ball boys than Bernardo Silva, I have to say.
He's barely been on, well, talking about Bernardo, he's barely been on the ball, has he? You know, it's been hard for him to get those little pockets of space when he's playing as one of these attacking eights, because this narrow shape from Saints, there's not much room for him to move him. Well, there normally isn't much anyway, but even less today. Southampton have led since the 7th minute. Kyle Walker-Peters' goal, and they still lead by that goal. And Manchester City have had most, if not all, of the game in terms of possession and territory and pressure, but nothing to show for all their efforts as yet. Here's Sterling trying to change that. Perrault managed to get to him and make a challenge, and Manchester City have a throw in about 10 paces from the corner flag on the right hand side. It's good defending again, wasn't it, Clive? You know, a big long diagonal. Perrault shuttles out, presses that touch from Sterling. You know, Salisu stepping in. They've just had a really good game. You can tell, you know, on the training ground, working hard at it. They've had a really good game without the ball so far.
On the ball is Laporte, edge of the centre circle for Manchester City. Again, 10 red shirts between him and the goal. Grealish out to the left-hand side. Now Cancelo, Foden takes over. Comes for Joao Cancelo again. Grealish has come a little deeper looking for the ball, trying to prompt and maybe prod a ball through. Instead rolls it square to Rodri. Out to the right-hand side now. Kyle Walker with a cross. It's a good one. It's low. But so too is the handling of Fraser Forster good. Got down low. It's a long way down for Fraser Forster, but he got down and held on.
Absolutely. They're the trickier ones, I guess, but they work it out to Kyle Walker. First time cross in the box, but again, no one really getting across the keeper. It's a couple of times now.
Forster has the ball. He's looking all around him as if he's almost expecting Bernardo Silva to come out of a hole in the ground and ambush him. What he's really trying to do is see away a few more precious seconds. The bell for the end of the first round is a minute plus any stoppage time away, and Southampton feel as if they have it on points at the moment.
Well, look at that hunting look from Shay Adams. Rodri gets the ball, tries to bring it over the halfway line. Shay Adams hunts him down, makes him play the pass backwards.
Grealish forward. Walker now accelerating, edge of the penalty area. Pulled back. Raheem Sterling has an opportunity. Couldn't step past Salisu. He has been outstanding. Another really good challenge by the young Ghanaian. On the ball is Redmond midway through his own half of the field, and you know, if he picked a pass there, Southampton had 3-on-2, but he didn't. He picked out Laporte. It's Bernardo Silva midway through the Manchester City half. De Bruyne, a fabulous pass. Walker's in here, and cross comes, you've guessed it, Mohamed Salisu with a sliding challenge, and there's a bonus, knocked it against Walker, and it's going to be a goal kick. What a half he's having, Mohamed Salisu.
Absolutely, he's just got a pat on the back there from Romeo, but Nathan Redmond switched off again, and Ralph Hassett was going bananas at him, because a couple of times he could have cost his team. He's got to really know that Kyle Walker's going to make that run off the back of him. He's got to see him and the ball. He doesn't, gets in behind, but there's Salisu again just to close the door, reading the play. Superb.
We tick into stoppage time at the end of this first half. Southampton 1, Manchester City 0, as it's been since the 7th minute. Long clearance by Forster, finds the head of Brocha. Adams back toward Prowse. It's one for Brocha to chase, and right on the edge of his territory, Edison is able to gather it in and bowl it out to his skipper Ruben Dias. Midway inside his own half of the field. De Bruyne comes short looking for the ball. Plays it square to Rodri, still inside his own half. Play back to Laporte again. On his left foot, just tries to coax one forward towards Foden on a run, but Romeo, who's filling in as that third centre-back at the moment, makes the headed clearance. Armstrong can't find Brocha on the break, so it comes for Grealish again, to send Manchester City forward yet again. Now Walker out to Sterling on the right hand side, back in field to Walker midway through the Southampton half. Rodri back out to Sterling once more, fronted up by Perrault. Rodri slipped into De Bruyne. Now Walker has the crossing opportunity from the right hand side. The header by Walker-Peters, just a glancing header, clears the danger as far as Cancelo has beaten Brozier down on the dead ball line. Cancelo pulls it back, and there is Fraser Forster again. A little bit lucky, a little bit of a ricochet inside the box as Cancelo got into a very dangerous crossing position, and Southampton have got for first base. There is the half-time whistle. They lead with that 7th minute goal from Kyle Walker-Peters. The pattern of the game was already set before he scored. Manchester City possession, Manchester City pressure, Southampton resistance, and that pattern is maintained throughout the half, but so too is the Southampton lead. It's an intriguing night here on the South Coast. We haven't seen Manchester City trail in a game for quite this long since they were last beaten in a Premier League game by Crystal Palace. Can they find solutions in the second half? You'll hear here. At half-time, Southampton 1, Manchester City 0. Thank you, Faye. Just to confirm, Mohamed El-Yunusi, who's just out of COVID isolation, is on. He scored well-taken goals in each of his last 2 appearances at Swansea and against West Ham United. He has been mainly used as a substitute since the end of November, but he offers something a little different to Nathan Redmond, and Ralph Hasenhüttl will be hoping that he offers a little bit more defensive security when Manchester City, as we know they will, come at Southampton and try to chase down the lead which Southampton have held since the 7th minute. Kyle Walker-Peters. They're attacking at the moment down the left-hand side. Romain Perrault has crossed, and it's come off the studs of Raheem Sterling and diverted behind for an early Southampton corner on their left-hand side. Southampton playing right to left as David Connolly and I look on from the main stand here at St Mary's. We're actually opposite the television cameras, so it's a slightly different picture from the one that you are maybe visualising if you've never visited this very compact and modern stadium, and maybe the best set-piece taker in the Premier League. James Ward-Prowse will deliver this corner from the left-hand side towards the near post, flicked on and saved by Ederson. First head to it there was a Southampton head. Ward-Prowse with the in-swinging delivery, and Ederson had to make a sharp save down on his line.
Brilliant save. Fantastic ball in from Ward-Prowse, and it's Bednarek again who gets across the near post. Little flicked head, and to be honest, it was straight Ederson. He just patted it down away, but nonetheless, nearly another goal for Bednarek.
3 goals in his last 7 games, Jan Bednarek. 4 if you include his own goal for Swansea in the FA Cup a couple of weeks ago, but he was denied there by Ederson. Manchester City coming forward. Grealish at the other end. Across the face of goal, it's come for Bernardo Silva. Tucked back to Kyle Walker just outside the penalty area. Immediate response from Manchester City, who almost went 2 down in the opening exchanges of this second half. But Bernardo Silva is turning the screw on the right-hand side, playing it square to Rodri. Back to De Bruyne. Clipped out to the right again, a crossing position for Kyle Walker. Fizzed in, hit first time by Rodri, and it's Forster's turn to make a save. Volley, bouncing volley from Rodri, ball bouncing right in front of Forster at a pretty good height. Maybe saw it late and just fended it away for a corner.
Yeah, not a clean strike, but yeah, I just wondered, maybe he could have gathered that in. Forster, did he need to concede a corner? I'm not so sure.
Another Manchester City short corner. Bernardo Silva to Foden. Now hooked in by De Bruyne, and a really, really important header by Armando Brozier back inside his penalty area to concede a corner and prevent the ball from reaching a Manchester City head. Yeah,
this is, I guess, their best route on these corners, City. They've always worked it short and then to the corner of the box and just tried to alter the angle coming in because, you know, Saints are so big defending these straight balls in, so you just try and change the angle.
Short corner from the left-hand side this time. Foden to De Bruyne. Now Cancelo. De Bruyne again. He will cross right-footed, whipped in towards the near post, and it's Jan Bednarek who heads it away for Southampton. Manchester City are back on the ball with Walker. 1-0 Southampton lead. We've had 3 minutes of the second half live on TalkSport at St Mary's. Rodri now, 20 metres outside the Southampton penalty area. Square to Kyle Walker in orange boots tonight. On to Diaz venturing forward. Sterling on the right-hand side. Walker again. Changes the point of the direction of the attack once more. De Bruyne on the left-hand side. Grealish turning just outside the Southampton penalty area, but being forced back by James Ward-Prowse. Still Grealish on the ball. Now Rodri. Square again to Diaz. Trying to pull the Southampton cover this way and that, but it's holding firm for now. Kyle Walker accelerates, finds a cross, and it will turn away by Ward-Prowse, and a combination of Romeo and Armando Broja, and the ball's up with Adams on the halfway line, and he had options there, but he just got the ball caught under his feet, but he has retained possession. On now to Ward-Prowse. De Bruyne got to him. Ball loops up in the air, and De Bruyne bursts forward down the Manchester City left. Waiting for support, it comes from Phil Foden. Crossed in, Raheem Sterling has space, but a wonderful recovery there by Stuart Armstrong, who heads behind for a corner kick to Manchester City on the right-hand side.
They got back, haven't they, Saints, so well and plugged those gaps, whether it's Armstrong, Ward-Prowse, Romeo. Romeo's not in that back line now, he's back in midfield, and I think that's where he's better, to be honest. Plugging those gaps in the middle. I think Shadham's got to turn out there and switch it out to the other side.
Corner kick is taken by Foden. It's a longer one this time towards the far post, headed across the face of goal by Aymeric Laporte, but Southampton clearing the edge of the 6-yard box. Forced away again to Walker. Now square to De Bruyne. This time it's lofted in towards Laporte again, heads across the face of goal, but finds only the white gloves of Fraser Forster. And the danger passes again for Southampton. Some of their defending has been frantic. It's been at the stretch, but they've always found a body to plug the holes and keep Manchester City at arm's length and keep in front. Throw into Manchester City just inside the Southampton half of the field on the Manchester City left. It is just the one change from the team that beat Chelsea last weekend, with Edison in goal, back for Walker, Diaz, who's come in, Laporte and Cancelo. Midfield, Bernardo Silva, Rodri and De Bruyne. Front three from right to left, Sterling, Grealish in the middle and Foden on the left-hand side. Southampton, for their part, 3 changes from the team that lost at Wolverhampton last weekend. Salisu coming crashing in with a challenge on Grealish to win the ball. Ward-Prowse played back to Bednarek, who tries to chip it down the right-hand side. Walker-Peters rather miscued the header, but somehow they've survived, and Romeo had it back there and has retained possession. Bednarek under pressure. Walker-Peters spoons it down the right-hand side. Manchester City have it back. Fraser Forster in goal. Back forwards, Walker-Peters, Bednarek, Salisu and Perrault. Midfield is now Stuart Armstrong, Romeo, Ward-Prowse and El Yunusi, who's come on for Redmond at half-time on the left-hand side. And then up front, Shea Adams is partnered with Armando Broja. Rodri on the ball for Manchester City, halfway line. 1-0 Southampton lead. Diaz, square to Laporte, down the left-hand side. Again, Manchester City try to keep some width in order to try to pull some gaps open between the Southampton cover. It's Foden who burrows infield, then Rodri helps it on. Now Walker, midway through the Southampton half. Bernardo Silva shows, finds Foden again, sharp challenge by that man Salisu again. Sterling immediately under pressure from El Yunusi, has done well. Fed into Walker, who's popped up inside the penalty area. Do I need to tell you who's just cleared Southampton's lines? No, Mohamed Salisu.
Yeah, superb. I think the change that he made in terms of Redmond coming off was because he was probably the one player for Saints that wasn't plugging those gaps. Let Walker go a couple of times, and that's why El Yunusi's on.
Southampton can counter here. Stuart Armstrong accelerating forward. He's got options. He's fed Broja, and Broja has burst into the penalty area. Armando Broja And Edison came bursting out, and somehow Aymeric Laporte got back there, and Southampton only have a corner kick. What a chance.
Yeah, absolutely. He's such a strong, powerful runner. Runs on the inside of Laporte and he's away. Breaks into the box. It's a combination, I think, of Laporte and Edison. Maybe it was Laporte there with the final touch. Great recovery, challenge in the end, desperate little lunge.
7 goals in his 12 starts for Southampton before this evening. Armando Broja, 4 Premier League starts here at St Mary's, and he's scored in all 4. This is his 5th tonight. He's been denied by a linesman's flag and now by the cover there of Laporte, but only at the expense of a Southampton corner. Ward-Prowse will take it from the right-hand side towards the head of Salisu. Chance for Broja. He's hit a post and then it's smashed over by Bednarek. Referee, I think, has given a free kick rather than a goal kick, but I think if Broja's shot had struck the back of the net rather than the post, it would have counted.
I just wonder, it looked like he was offside, but such a threat on these set pieces again. Ward-Prowse with the header in, Broja with the header. He's almost in line with the post, and then he actually heads it against the post. He's clattered by Edison at the same time. Bring it with a follow-up, blazes wide.
I think he might have been offside, in fairness, Broja. I don't think that would have counted, but he is a presence. He scored goals in the Dutch League last season. He's made just 1 senior appearance for Chelsea, but it looks like he may be surplus to requirements at Stamford Bridge. Can Southampton afford him? Can they keep everybody else's hands off Armando Broja of Albania? Raheem Sterling has the ball. Southampton have the lead, 1-0. Sterling edge of the Southampton penalty area. Played back to Ruben Diaz. Square to Aymeric Laporte. Out on the left-hand side now, it's Cancelo. Forward to De Bruyne. Edge of the penalty area, Rodri. Tries to tuck it into the box. Sterling and Grealish combine. Again, good cover from Southampton. Turned out of harm's way by Stuart Armstrong. Southampton 1, Manchester City 0 on TalkSport with Now. With a Now Sports Day membership, you can stream all the Sky Sports action, including this game, live right now for $9.99 without a contract. Search Now Sports. On the ball for Manchester City, De Bruyne. Just outside the penalty area, a little back heel from Grealish. De Bruyne again, fires it across the face of goal. Salisu heads away yet again. Bernardo Silva, back to Ruben Diaz. Bernardo Silva again has to go back to the halfway line of Ruben Diaz. Now Laporte next to him, but he only just switches the play out to the left-hand side. Finds Cancelo. Grealish very, very active. Was balked off the ball by Romeo. Ball's gone out of play for a Manchester City throw-in 10 metres from the corner flag on the left-hand side. Pleasantries exchanged between Oriol Romeo and Jack Grealish.
I think there's going to be a change pretty soon. I just wonder, because Raheem Sterling didn't quite sort his feet out there in the box and he was in a little bit of space. Maybe that was enough for Pep. Might be making a change. Jesus coming on.
Rodri to De Bruyne. Played back to Laporte. Gabriel Jesus is being readied. Now Rodri. Foden. Again, just being kept 50 metres outside the penalty area by Southampton. Grealish trying to change that by going forward. Foden. Cancelo on the left-hand side. Onto his right foot, thinking about a cross. Grealish always coming looking for the ball. He's certainly showing some courage on the ball. Now edge of the penalty area, trying to attack Southampton. Cancelo out to Foden, crossed in. Salisu volleys away this time with Sterling waiting behind him. Romeo clears his lines, but not for long. It's Rodri. Played into Bernardo Silva. Nice little diversion of the ball with the outside of his foot to find Walker, and Bernardo Silva gets it back. Floated cross this time. Phil Foden tries it on the volley. It's on target too. Beaten away by Fraser Forster. Lovely hit that by Foden. It would have needed a sensational strike to beat Forster from the angle. It was a pretty comfortable save in truth.
Yeah, this is where they look dangerous though, Southampton.
Here they come on the counter. It's Adams to Broja. The return pass isn't very good, and Rodri's able to get back there, and Southampton now have 4 men out of the game, and Manchester City can maybe counter-attack. Cancelo, halfway line. Play to Foden. Now he's got a chance to run at Walker-Peters just outside the penalty area. Held up well by the goal scorer, who makes a clearance. Rodri, 15 metres outside the penalty area. Square to Kyle Walker. played carefully into Bernardo Silva, just caught on his heels, couldn't control it, and Southampton can get out again. It's Perrault over the halfway line. How much do they commit? How many men do they commit to these attacks? Are they going to win this game with only one goal? That's a big question. Bernardo Silva to Grealish. Down he goes under pressure from Romeo. Play on, says the referee. Foden from the edge of the penalty area with a shot. Well blocked by Bednarek, who clears his lines. Stuart Armstrong has it for Southampton. It's a fabulous match now. Armstrong out to Walker-Peters on the right-hand side. Bursting forward into the Manchester City half. Cancelo with a really well-timed challenge, and Walker-Peters is out of position. And Rodri's coming forward over the halfway line. Foden out to the left-hand side. Cancelo rolled into Grealish just outside the box. Salisu makes a challenge. Rodri, though, keeps the attack going. Bernardo Silva just outside the penalty area. Held up well, plays it square again. Rodri will hit it, and hit it just wide. Just tried to curl it, trying to pick his spot, top left-hand corner, and couldn't quite manage it. The substitution is coming. It will be Gabriel Jesus for Raheem Sterling. David Connolly.
Yeah, just brushed the roof of the net, and I think Southampton were just hoping, willing that ball to go out of play. They needed respite. They saw that attack out in the end, and I don't think it's too much a surprise that Raheem Sterling's come off. Not quite his day, pretty wasteful when he had the ball. And it's going to be a like for like. It looks like Jesus off the right-hand side, and Grealish is going to stay down through the middle.
150th Premier League appearance for Gabriel Jesus, who scored a 90th minute winner here for Manchester City back in 2018. Now taking his familiar position on the right-hand side, with Grealish remaining down the middle. Kyle Walker, he wears number 9 but plays at number 7, it seems, these days for Manchester City. Gabriel Jesus. We've had an hour. Southampton 1, Manchester City 0. Foden's cross is charged down by Ward-Prowse. Southampton have been so committed without the ball, organised, committed, played with heads and hearts, and largely speaking they've kept Manchester City away. One big chance that Sterling couldn't take in the first half.
Yeah, it's been a very dogged, disciplined performance, but they are just sinking deeper and deeper. You can see some of the staff, technical stuff up here beside us with the monitors, the analysts, just urging their team up because they sort of haven't got out of their box for a little while.
Easy to sit here and wave your team forward.
Yeah.
Not so easy when you're down on the field and you can't get a foot on the ball. Jesus looking for a free kick, which he's not going to get as he tries to get past Romain Perrault, who's certainly played his part in this Southampton rearguard action.
He done very well, didn't he? He done really well against Raheem Sterling. Every time he was a misplaced touch, he was on him, closing down really quick. He can change direction as well, so he's able to keep up with speedsters like Sterling. So he's got a different challenge now, though.
Manchester City have the ball. Forward comes Cancelo, midway through the Southampton half. He's played it in. Gabriel Jesus, there's no flag, but there's no control from Jesus. Well, he looked offside, but the flag stayed down. And Gabriel Jesus was just unable to reel the ball in and bring it under his spell.
Ooh, that was, I tell you what, Salisu can breathe a sigh of relief because he was deeper than the rest of his back four, and he just ghosted off the back of Perrault. Just switched off there a little bit, got away with it.
Going through his longest Premier League drought without a goal at the moment, Gabriel Jesus. He hasn't scored in this league since September. Over 900 minutes of Premier League football without a goal. But as I say, often on the right wing, probably too often on the substitutes bench for his liking. I mean, there is obviously no good argument for suggesting Manchester City need a centre-forward. They don't need anything. But, I mean, your TalkSports tactical analyst, tell me why such a wealthy and operation have this policy of rotating the likes of Foden, Bernardo, Sterling, Grealish in a role that, you know, they could buy a specialist for, and why Gabriel Jesus, who is a specialist, rarely plays there.
Yeah, I know. It's you know, at times you do wonder and you do question because, you know, look at the opportunities today. They put the ball in and around the 6-yard box. There's nobody really there. But nonetheless, for a couple of seasons now, they've relied on that. You go back to last season, and Gundogan was the only one that got more than 10. Obviously, they spread the goals around, but surely they could still accommodate an out-and-out number 9.
Yeah,
I don't see what difference it would make in terms of, look, Grealish comes off and links it as a 9, but as we saw against Watford, it's not his natural position, but I think he's improved since then. But surely he'd be better in one of the wide positions, but maybe he wouldn't get in one of the wide positions. I don't know.
I can't think of a team that creates more goal scorers' chances. All those little balls that they play down the side and they get in behind you, cutbacks from the dead ball line, so many close range goals. Now listen, they're top of the league, they're the champions. I'm not saying they're wrong, I just don't understand it, that's all.
Well, surely they'd be even better, wouldn't they?
Well, who knows? Maybe we'll never know. Well, they need something this evening. At the moment they've got João Cancelo rolling around as if he's been hit by a sniper, and they have a free kick which Walker takes, but they trail by a 0-0. Carl Walker-Peters after 7 minutes, the Southampton goal scorer. Ruben Diaz, 50 metres inside the Southampton half of the field. Down goes Gabriel Jesus, just an arm on his shoulder this time from Shea Adams, drags him down, and so another free kick to Manchester City. Diaz and Laporte will go forward to join the melee on the edge of the Southampton penalty area. De Bruyne stands over the ball. If Ward-Prowse can deliver for Southampton, De Bruyne certainly can for Manchester City. Foden is a left-footed option.
Well, look at Pep Guardiola. He was almost in line with the ball there. He's about 30 yards outside his technical area.
It's taken by De Bruyne. It's an outswinger. It's a great chance, and Laporte has equalised. A free header. Manchester City are back on terms. And of all the ways to concede a goal to this multi-talented team, a straightforward free kick, a centre-back unmarked, an easy header, and it's Southampton 1, Manchester City 1. Aymeric Laporte. Southampton will be furious.
Yeah, just ghosted in at the back post. He is onside. I mean, it looks like Brozier just left him all alone. He didn't try and block him. He didn't follow him in. He just switched off defensively, and he had a free header completely at the back post, 6 yards out. Heads it down and forces near post, but to me, Brozier's got to do a lot better.
Laporte's third goal of the season, only his second since August. He scored the header which made it 5-3 to halt the Leicester City comeback on Boxing Day. And he scored the header here, which brings Manchester City back on terms with 25 minutes of this match still to play. Southampton 1, Manchester City 1. But you've resisted all of the artistry, all of the ingenuity, all of those lovely little passes round the side and between defenders. You've resisted the skills of Grealish, the pace of Sterling, and you concede a free kick, and De Bruyne kills it in, and Laporte, who's come forward from the back, just runs in without even a challenge and heads it in. And here's Foden looking for a second Manchester City goal, and Jesus is there and couldn't quite do it under pressure from Perro, but De Bruyne plays it back into the penalty area. And Romeo is clearing his lines. Ward-Prowse digs one out, and here's Stuart Armstrong, and Brozier wasn't expecting it.
He looks tired, Brozier, to me. That was a tired attempt at marking Laporte, and that was a tired attempt there, trying to pick up that pass from Ward-Prowse. And, you know, maybe, just maybe his race has run. He's been really good, but, you know, he's had an awful lot of work, and it might be the time to freshen up. But as it is, you know, there's a job to do, not only in open play, but on those dead ball situations. Brozier's got to stop Laporte. He puts his arm up and hopes that he's offside. Just go with your man. Really poor from the front man.
You know, Southampton are in the top 3 in the Premier League of scoring goals from set pieces, and in the bottom 3 in conceding them. Here's Gabriel Jesus, cross across the face of goal, hooked away by Ward-Prowse from the edge of his 6-yard box. Adams trying to help out, but loses out to De Bruyne. Manchester City have a bit between their teeth now, attacking down the right-hand side. Perro makes a challenge in front of the Manchester City fans. De Bruyne wins a corner kick, I think it is. It went out right by the flag. Yeah, I think it is a corner kick on the Manchester City right. Foden has come across to offer the in-swinging. They are Mancunian voices you can hear now inside St Mary's. Behind for a long time tonight. Manchester City on terms now. Phil Foden, edge of the Southampton penalty area. Bernardo Silva, roll square. It's going to be hit by João Cancelo. It's going to be charged down by Salisu. Grealish, edge of the penalty area. Cancelo again. Crossed in once more. This time Ruben Dias is forward. It's Foden with a volley. It hits Salisu. Handball appeals out as far as Bernardo Silva. His shot is charged down. It was a full-blooded volley by Foden. I didn't see quite where it hit Salisu, but there wasn't much he could do to get out of the way, that's for sure. And the referee Simon Hooper waved play on. But Bernardo Silva has the ball for Manchester City. Out to De Bruyne. Back to Ruben Dias. And any thought that Manchester City might just settle for a moment and think, well, thank goodness for that, we're back on terms. You can forget. They're on the attack. It's Grealish, left-hand side, trying to pull it back, headed away by Bednarek. Only as far as Cancelo edge of the penalty area. Gabriel Jesus out to Laporte, the Manchester City goal scorer. Square to Ruben Dias. 50 metres outside the penalty area. A little chip pass this time to Laporte. Now out to the left-hand touchline once more. Cancelo back onto his right foot. Now onto his left foot. Crossing position. Can't squeeze it across. Armstrong sees to that. Corner kick to Manchester City. Incessant pressure, David Collins.
Yeah, it is. And you don't realise how long the ball is in play until there's a sub waiting to come on, because they can't ever get on. City just have it. Saints can't clear their lines and they keep the ball alive, Man City. Don't let it go out for a throw until they're breaking around the box and they've won a set piece. But as it is, Lianco still can't get on. And they probably want him on now for another corner.
Brazilian centre-back waits as Manchester City prepared to take another corner from their left-hand side. Kevin De Bruyne has placed the ball on the quadrant. It's 1-1 at St Mary's. In towards the near post. Southampton head got to it, flicked across the face of goal. Bernardo Silva couldn't quite control it, but he's kept possession, and here's Gabriel Jesus, and now Rodri, and it's fed into Gabriel Jesus. Clever ball, Bernardo Silva. Gabriel Jesus, lovely interchange, out as far as Kevin De Bruyne, tries to curl one. Oh, hit the outside of the post, De Bruyne. As far as Jesus, edge of the penalty area, edge of the 6-yard box now. Bernardo Silva and Kevin De Bruyne denied by the woodwork. Fabulous curling shot, clipped the outside of Foster's left-hand post with the goalkeeper beaten.
Yeah, we saw this last week, didn't we? That was so unlucky. I mean, he didn't have a lot to aim at there. He could barely see the post. He knew where the goal was, trying to bend it back in.
It is Jan Bednarek, as you can hear, who's coming off. One suspects that's an injury. And Lianco, the 6'2" Brazilian, who's been starting to establish himself in the last month or so, who will come on now alongside Mohamed Salisu at the heart of the defence. He plays with passion, not always with concentration. I'm not sure he's quite the centre-back that he would pick of all the world's centre-backs to defend the lead right now. But he'll give it all, he'll give it his all.
You're right. He's got to be careful. He's really reckless against Wolves, and he's just asking for a yellow, and he can't give those fouls away here.
Bernardo Silva has the ball for Manchester City, who have the wind in their sails. Grealish edge of the penalty area. Southampton 1, Manchester City 1. Rodri, edge of the penalty area, De Bruyne, played back out to Ruben Dias. Rodri again. Southampton hanging on really. De Bruyne has the ball. Edge of the penalty area. Strong play by Kevin De Bruyne. Cross to the far post. Left by Foden. Cancelo arrives just inside the box. Another clip cross. Gabriel Jesus hits a post again, and it's hooked away by Ward-Prowse. Manchester City getting closer and closer. This time Gabriel Jesus with a header against the upright. Foden out to the left-hand side. Cancelo, edge of the penalty area, defended by Stuart Armstrong. Walker-Peters trying to clear his lines, but Manchester City hemming Southampton in. Win another throw-in, 10 metres from the corner flag. How much more of this can Southampton resist?
Well, this is almost a carbon copy of Brozier's header against the post, this time at the other end, a couple of yards out. I think Jesus has been superb since he's come on. He's looked such a threat out on the right-hand side.
It is Southampton 1, Manchester City 1 on TalkSport with We Own Car. Sell your car in under an hour, leaving you more time to enjoy the football. You would be enjoying this match if you were watching it, that's for sure. Hope you're enjoying it on the radio. Grealish edge of the penalty area. Into the path of Perro, can't clear his lines. Foden. Now Gabriel Jesus just outside the box. Left-footed dink, charged down by Ward-Prowse. Was that a foul on the edge of the penalty area? Manchester City thinks so. Foden's still down. And it is now a foul, but this time by Ruben Dias. Armando Broja, and some relief and release for a very weary Southampton.
Yeah, absolutely. But that, to me, looked like a clear foul on Phil Foden on the edge of the box. And that was 1 yard outside, middle of goal, perfect place. Simon Hooper didn't give it. It looked like Martin Ward-Prowse that just caught Foden as he nicked the ball away, and that was close, very, very close.
Southampton 1, Manchester City 1. Live on TalkSport. Following us here this evening, Faye and Gabby Agbonlahor will be taking your calls on game day. Your verdict, 03717 223344 is the number. Get your calls in and have your say on national radio from 7:30 tonight. Across on TalkSport 2 tonight, the start of England's 5-match T20 series in the West Indies. Every ball live and exclusive on TalkSport 2. 8 o'clock is our start time both tonight and tomorrow evening. Steve Harmison, Gareth Batty and the team at the mic on TalkSport 2, and you can listen to TalkSport 2 via the TalkSport app. So easy to download and swipe between our stations, and you can take your pick between Faye and Gabby on one side and England's marvellous cricket team on the other side. Tonight, live on TalkSport. 1-1 here at St Mary's, live on TalkSport. And Gabriel Jesus coming forward again for Manchester City. And strong, muscular defending by Perrault holds him back, and Jesus runs the ball out of play without any complaints. And a throw in for Southampton, which they will take their time about. They were running the clock down from the moment Walker Peters scored, and that was after 7 minutes. They've got a way to go yet. Over a quarter of an hour still to play.
And they do look weary, as you mentioned earlier, Clive. They really do, and they've barely been out of their half.
Salisu with the header away. Broja holds it up, but not very well. Elyounoussi unable to retain possession. Really trying to control the ball under pressure from Salisu, does well yet again for Southampton. Bernardo Silva, though, into the path of Joao Cancelo, who's barely a fullback. He spends most of his time in the opponent's final third. Gabriel Jesus he finds this time. De Bruyne, edge of the penalty area. His cross is charged down, though, by Elyounoussi trying to help out. Adams has lost the ball to Ruben Diaz. Gabriel Jesus tussling with Perrault, maybe a little trip there down by the Southampton corner flag, and the French left back did pretty well just to smuggle the ball away, but only as far as De Bruyne. Rodri exchanges passes with Foden. Rodri again just takes a pause to assess the options, and there are plenty of them in Manchester City's all-black kit. Gabriel Jesus into De Bruyne, a little return pass from Foden, down goes De Bruyne, edge of the penalty area, penalty appeals, nothing doing, says the referee on the field. They'll be looking at that up at Stockley Park as De Bruyne went down right on the edge of the penalty area. Meanwhile, Elyounoussi is breaking for Southampton at the other end, but he can't get away from Kyle Walker, who wins the ball and plays it calmly back to Ruben Diaz. Kevin De Bruyne is still appealing to Simon Hooper on the field.
But, there was a lot of tank, there was a lot of legs in the way there, so it was hard to see. It looked like Romeo might have been the one who made contact. I mean, De Bruyne is adamant, should have had a pen, or it was a foul, certainly.
Here's Foden, 15 metres outside the Southampton penalty area. Out to the left-hand side, and Cancelo. Grealish again is on the ball, trying to exchange passes with Foden. That doesn't come off, but he's smuggled it back to Cancelo, crossing Salisu with another very, very good header, staring into his own goal, edge of the 6-yard box. Just had to improvise a back header to get it out of harm's way. Mohamed Salisu was able to do that. It is still Southampton 1, Manchester City 1. The latest odds are available from Betfair, the official betting partner of TalkSport's Premier League coverage. They are currently offering a Southampton win at 14-1. The draw is now 6-5. Or you can back Manchester City to win at 11-10 on that odds update from Betfair. You'll get no cash-out suspensions on match odds and over-under goal markets on football. You must be 18 and do pay a visit to begambleaware.org. And the reason I can tell you all of that is we are now awaiting the result of that VAR review for the Kevin De Bruyne penalty appeal good 90 seconds ago. What do you think, David Conley?
Yeah, it looked like Romeo, there was a little tangle of legs, and I think he does come into contact with De Bruyne. I just wonder, a few of these staff beside us have a bit of a worried expression on their face. If he's called to the monitor, I I'd be worried. He hasn't been yet, but it looked like Romeo just caught De Bruyne up. Triangular legs right on the edge of the box.
VAR is Darren England, who I mentioned at the start of the game. Simon Hooper on the field has not given a penalty all season. Darren England has been one of the more prolific penalty givers.
I mean, he's so in the Premier League. It's so hard to see whether it's Salisu, did his boot on the boot of De Bruyne, or the follow through from Romeo.
It's not a penalty. Play on, says Simon Hooper. It's obviously got Federer waiting.
Well, foul outside the penalty area.
So, but that can't be given in retrospect. It could have been given if it had been inside the penalty area. So very much as you read it, David, it was a foul, but it wasn't across the white line. And it remains Southampton 1, Manchester City 1. Stuart Armstrong has caught Aymeric Laporte very high there. Ball did bounce up, and Armstrong waved a foot at it, missed the ball, and caught Laporte up on the thigh. Laporte's down. Yellow card is coming out for Stuart Armstrong.
Now, for Pep Guardiola, you would say there was a foul on Foden just outside the box. There was another one on De Bruyne, and then there's been 3 fouls on the edge of the box, which City probably, I feel, should have had, and they haven't had them. And in those situations, 18 yards out, you've got 3 chances, and they haven't got any of them.
Well, the wheel of fortune spins both ways in football. Manchester City have been wonderful in the last couple of months, but the penalty by which they beat Wolverhampton Wanderers last month was debatable. Maybe the one at Arsenal, which brought them back into the game, was debatable. And that latest debatable incident has gone against them.
This is funny, Clive. I mean, Laporte got up, but when it came on the screen that they were checking a possible red card, he's then gone back on the deck and laid down. He's immediately got the bird from the fans. He's now been hauled to his feet. But if I was Armstrong, I'd be a little bit worried here because it is a bit reckless. Yeah, it's on the thigh, and I think it looks worse than it is. I mean, Laporte is okay, but runs a risk of getting sent off here.
I mean, Armstrong was trying to play the ball. The ball was bouncing up. He was trying to get to it. It is not a red card. VAR saved Simon Hooper the trip to the monitor and decided there's nothing to see here. Gov. Although Sue Gray, of course, will investigate. We'll wait next week with bated breath. Here's Walker. Poor ball square, seized upon by Romeo. It's run rather kindly for Jack Grealish. On to Bernardo Silva. Still Southampton 1, Manchester City 1. Foden attacking the edge of the Southampton penalty area. Cancelo on the overlap. Low cross, and Gabriel Jesus couldn't quite reach it. And full mark to Romain Perraud, who made sure that he couldn't reach it. Good defending that.
Absolutely. I think he's been brilliant, Perraud. Him and Salisu have been superb. Lovely ball, low across the box. Deceives everyone for Saints, and at the back post it looked like Jesus just going to get the end of it, but Perraud just flicked it away. Fantastic defending.
Stuart Armstrong recalled to the team. There was been an injury hit season for him tonight. We'll give way to Ibrahima Diallo for the closing moments as Southampton edge towards the finishing line. 9 minutes left on the clock. There will be some added time. Manchester City on this run of 12 consecutive Premier League victories. It's not threatening any Premier League records yet. Why? Well, only because the records that Manchester City and Liverpool have set in recent years have been made to stand the tests of time. Both have won 18 in a row in the toughest league in the world. 15 wins out of the last 16 is Manchester City in all competitions, and the exception was a dead Champions League rubber. This is what they do. Last season, 28 games unbeaten. Ridiculous consistency, relentless consistency. But it's just possibly going to be halted this evening. That haul from those 12 games, 36 out of 36, is 8 more than anyone else has managed. And that's why the rest have got to mind the gap at the moment, because they are capable of runs which can just take the prize away from everyone, Manchester City. But they were behind for a long time tonight. Kyle Walker-Peters with an early goal for Southampton. Aymeric Laporte has equalised. And as we tick into the last 8 minutes, it remains Southampton 1, Manchester City 1. Forward comes Foden, just outside the penalty area. Crossed in towards Gabriel Jesus, but he didn't quite get that right and knows it. And Fraser Forster has the ball for Southampton, and Fraser Forster is in no hurry to do anything with it right now. Just holding the ball inside his penalty area, and this is not going to be passed out to a centre-back. It's going to be launched forward towards Che Adams. Manchester City win it back though. It's a high one forward by Bernardo Silva, which is a rather curious agricultural ball from one of the most cultured players in the world today, Bernardo Silva.
Well, they just need to get set, even from this kick from Forster. Everyone's got to get over. You can see Ward-Prowse just calling over Elyounoussi. Get in nice and tight and narrow, so if this drops, we can pick it up. Get the front two close together.
Manchester City came from behind to win with a very late goal at Arsenal on New Year's Day. It's Southampton looking for that late goal at the moment, with Romeo back to Salisu in possession. Square of him is Lianco. Driven forward towards Walker-Peters, dealt with by Cancelo and by Bernardo Silva, linking on that left-hand side. Cancelo on the edge of his own penalty area, forward to Rodri, out to Bernardo Silva. No question of a long ball for Manchester City. They're going to pass their way down the field in time-honoured fashion. Walker up to the halfway line. Gabriel Jesus, it's laid off just behind De Bruyne, and he couldn't gather it in. It has gone out of play, has it? No, it hasn't. It was kept in by Romeo, and Rocha was almost breaking clear. Laporte responded well, and before Ruben Dias rolled it back to Edison. 1-1 the scoreline. 6 minutes left to play now. James Ward-Prowse stealing the ball and finding Jallo. Now Che Adams, laid off to Romeo. Square to Salisu. Halfway line for Southampton, trying to clip a ball down the line for Perraud. It was telegraphed. Elyounoussi caught Gabriel Jesus. No foul though. Perraud. Adams. Play back to Romeo. Gabriel Jesus is still down, wanting play to be stopped. Southampton carry on. Walker-Peters. Gabriel Jesus is now getting to his feet. The ball is on the halfway line with James Ward-Prowse. Jallo turning. Played out to Walker-Peters on the right-hand side, midway through the Manchester City half of the field. Now Oriol Romeo in the heart of the Manchester City half. Salisu has got forward. Perraud has got forward on the left-hand side. Crossing position, forced back by the revived Gabriel Jesus. Perraud again with a little flick on, can't find Elyounoussi. It's Gabriel Jesus who sees that. But Romeo gets it back. And Che Adams, edge of the penalty area. Giallo trying to turn. Edge of the box, onto his left foot, struck, and Edison had everything behind it. Might have taken a slight deflection, David Connolly.
Yeah, it's a good move though from Southampton. Kept it alive, worked it from left to right. Diallo had to run on the overlap from Walker-Peters. Used that to sort of cut in field, but the shot was straight at Edison. Good little move though from Saints.
It was interesting listening to Thomas Tuchel last Saturday. He was always comforted by the fact that Chelsea had lost to a stunning goal by Kevin De Bruyne, a touch of genius. I think the regret for Southampton, even if it remains this way, is that they conceded such a basic goal to City to equalise. Just a header from a free kick by a centre-back. Now can City find something special in the closing seconds to win this game? 4 minutes left to play. Cancelo just outside the penalty area, running at Jallo, gets it back onto his right foot. Bernardo Silva is on the ball, turning, corner of the penalty area, forced away by Ward-Prowse. Rodri takes over, into the box now Rodri, but again has to go wide. Jallo did enough, Ward-Prowse did just about enough. Romeo smuggles it away. Che Adams, Rocha, Adams is breaking. It's come for Elyounoussi. He's got two options wide on his left-hand side. I think he decided against trying to play the long ball, A, because it was difficult, and B, because he was happy to keep possession. As it is, Manchester City have a throw-in.
Yeah, I mean, he's urged there by the crowd just to open his body out and switch it out to the opposite side. He had to use his left foot, though, as you said, didn't really fancy it, and in the end, he's lost possession.
They don't want to give Manchester City a counter-attacking option, though. If they do have an attack, Southampton, I think they've got to tread carefully. Foden though, running at Walker-Peters just outside the Southampton penalty area, tried the early cross, Walker-Peters blocked it. Foden still has the ball though. On his left foot inevitably plays it back to Grealish. Rolled in field to Rodri. Tries to coax a high ball into Kyle Walker, headed down, Bernardo Silva inside the penalty area, onto his left foot, chip to the far post, Grealish chests it down, tries a volley, but The cover is there immediately from Lianco, and it's only a Manchester City corner.
Yeah, they haven't got time though to sit on their haunches. They've taken it already.
Taken short. Bernardo Silva and Grealish working it. Grealish square to De Bruyne, crying out for him to hit it, and he does, and hits it just wide. Fraser Forster never moved. He's now motioning to say, I just couldn't see that. I had no idea where that was going, and it went wide from De Bruyne.
Yeah, it was a perfect little position for him, trying to bend it back in. It just went a yard past the post.
Strong finish from De Bruyne. He started the last 8 games now. Feels as if he's got that fitness to go with his finesse. Again, he rode that Kante lunge before scoring the winner last Saturday. Scored 4 goals in the last 7 games. The rocket against Leeds, the left footer against Leicester, and then that wonderful goal last week. And he's hit a post here. Twice Manchester City have bruised Southampton woodwork in this second half, but it's still 1-1. Poor clearance by Forster, but he gets away with it as the ball bounces tamely back to him. Just over a minute of the 90 remaining. Manchester City on a run of 12 consecutive Premier League victories, drawing here at Southampton. Maybe opening the door tomorrow for Liverpool, who go to Crystal Palace, for Chelsea, who entertain Spurs, to revive their title hopes.
Well, they play each other, don't they? And I'm sure they've got to get, obviously, Liverpool game in hand as well. That game, I think it's in April, isn't it? The City one?
It is. It's a long way away. A point for Manchester City here would give them 57. Liverpool would then have 2 games in hand and would be 12 points behind. So they can close that gap to 6 theoretically. Beat Manchester City when you play them, and there you are. It's easy. An awful lot to happen, and not that many weeks for it to happen in. I think it's all going to be wedged into the closing weeks of the season. I prefer to watch box sets, 2 or 3 episode binges, and I forget the plot, forget who the baddies are and not careful. Maybe we could play 2 games on the final Sunday in May. Everybody could play 2 games. Big end of season finale. Bernardo Silva breaking for Manchester City. Forward to De Bruyne. Southampton little bare at the back for once, but Salisu makes another fabulous challenge. 6 added minutes here. Salisu forward. Goalkeeper comes out. Manages to get to it and force it into the hands of Walker, who then the referee has stopped play for a free kick to Manchester City.
I think he's just offside there, but what a superb interception here from Salisu, who has been superb. You've got to say he's been brilliant.
On the ball is Foden though, outside the Southampton penalty area, just outside it. Checks, comes back in field. Rodri has had a million touches of the ball tonight. Back to Bernardo Silva, square again to De Bruyne. Are they going to take a pot shot from range, or are they going to try and work one last big chance? Kyle Walker edge of the penalty area. De Bruyne curled into the box. Salisu inevitably with the header away. Shea Adams wins it for Southampton midway inside his own half and wins a free kick. No advantage play. Rodri body checks in. Southampton wanted the free kick. Yeah. They don't want advantage. No, they've got the ball. Jallo back to Lianco. Forward to Romeo. On to Salisu, but 15 metres inside his own half. Now Perro on the left-hand side. Southampton rather hesitantly going forward. El Yunusi now trying to stretch his long legs and make an impact down the left-hand touchline, but he's lost it to Walker. And here comes the Manchester City counter, and El Yunusi has no choice in his own mind but to catch up with De Bruyne, put 2 arms around him and just drag him to the ground for a free kick. And yes, a yellow card. Free kick to Manchester City midway through the Southampton half.
Yeah, well, let's see. Laporte, I think, has given the ball to De Bruyne and basically said, go on then, do the same again, put it on the head. And I think if you're Elyounoussi, you've got to look after that ball. Perot plays the ball into him, goes around him. I don't think you can do that, Elyounoussi. He's not strong enough to fend off the likes of Kyle Walker. As it is, this is almost a carbon copy situation for the goal.
2 of the 6 added minutes play. Manchester City have a free kick midway through the Southampton half. De Bruyne into a danger area. Salisu, chance for Rodri, smuggled away, headed by Ward-Prowse. They've somehow got it outside the penalty area, and somehow they've got a free kick to bring the game to a halt and see away a few more seconds. Still 1-1 at St Mary's.
Yeah, I just wonder. I don't know why De Bruyne maybe changed his mind there rather than going to the back post, which worked the last time with Laporte up against Brozier. Instead he went for a near post delivery. They just about kept the ball away there, Saints, and won the free kick, so they'll waste another vital few seconds. And it's just, look, also put it on the head of Broja. Broja, you've got to flick this on and just try and get it into the corner.
Everybody gets a fortnight off after this game. Both teams will return for FA Cup ties in 2 weeks' time. Southampton here against Coventry, Manchester City at Fulham. The winter break is almost upon us. What will the Manchester City lead be at the top of the table as we go into it? Jallo. Chance for a cross here from the edge of the penalty area. Turned away by Rodri. It was Lianco who ventured forward.
I mean, that was
cross. You are a centre-back.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be holding on. Go back.
I mean, all the technical stuff, they're up beside us, all screaming, pointing, going, where are you going? You're going the wrong way. Instead, it was actually a fantastic run. It was just a poor cross, but anyway, he's trundled back now to be alongside Salisu.
And guess what? Southampton have a throw-in in an attacking position. About 8 paces from the corner flag on their right-hand side. Kyle Walker-Peters, who started the fun this evening with the opening goal, takes it. Short to James Ward-Prowse. Here's Lianco again. Try to curl it out to this left-hand side towards Perro. It was a rather perilous ball. Walker forced it away. Up the field towards Gabriel Jesus. Under pressure from Romeo. Southampton have a player down and in some pain. I think it's Romain Perro. And in need of some treatment, shaking his hand to signify intense pain and holding his right shin.
Well, Pep Guardiola's not happy because it's not a head injury, so he's saying, why was play stopped?
Pep Guardiola never looks happy on the touchline. That is his way. Don't think Manchester City fans were reassured or worried hearing him talking about his future yesterday. Reassured in so much that he has promised that he will not, in his words, betray the club or do anything wrong. Not going to Old Trafford then. But he's not going to grow old in Manchester. I mean, the Arndale Centre's great, but that's not where he's going to live the rest of his life. But he's still got unfinished business with this football club, that's for sure. And tonight his team are pressed and pushed from the moment they went behind after 7 minutes, not just to get something from this game, but to get everything from this game.
And the ball's gone out again, Clive, and Jesus had to run 50 yards to go and get it, so definitely the ball boys and ball people have had a night off, that's for sure.
On furlough, I think. Adams trying to retain possession for Southampton. Lost out to Diaz. Laporte goes back to his goalkeeper, but only to go forward, knowing Edison can launch it, and launch it he does. Might be a little bit too long, this one from Edison. It's bounced for De Bruyne, he turns it goalwards. And away by the feet of Forster. Route 1, Manchester City. Almost another Edison assist, that, by the way.
Fantastic save there from Forster. I didn't know too much about it, though.
Corner which De Bruyne takes. Into the near post, not a good one. He'll get another opportunity. El Yunusi managed to clear his lines. De Bruyne crosses left-footed, volleyed away by Shea Adams down the field. Cheered almost like a goal. They feel as if they're almost there. They are there! Southampton have not won this game. You might think so if you just walked into St Mary's. But on an evening here when most expected Manchester City to continue their remorseless path to retaining their title, Southampton have made them think again. A bump in the road for the Rolls Royce at the top of the Premier League table. Manchester City, after 12 consecutive Premier League victories, are held at last. They were behind for a long, long time here this evening. Kyle Walker-Peters gave Southampton the lead after 7 minutes with his first ever Premier League goal. A very straightforward header from Aymeric Laporte provides Manchester City with their equaliser and with a point. Twice they hit the woodwork. There were penalty appeals and all kinds of screams and shouts in the closing stages as the champions pressed for maximum points. But Southampton, with Mohamed Salisu a man of the match by far, kept them at bay, and that's why that throaty roar greeted 1 point for the home team at the final whistle. They couldn't hold on to a lead again, but for for Chelsea and Liverpool fans. They've done them a big favour tonight by taking points off Manchester City. At St Mary's, it's finished. Southampton 1, Manchester City 1.